All right. All right. Morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How is
Yo,
it?
yo, what's goody?
Hey, I see our guest is here already. Wow.
Oh yeah, man. We don't play no games, man.
Morning, Mr. Jackson. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Hey, what's
Glad
up,
to
Mr.
be here.
Jackson?
Yeah, what's going on, Toronto?
Good,
Yeah.
good,
Right.
good. Thank you.
Morning, guys. So we are at professional workshop number 3. Wow. Time is really flying, right? Trimester is almost up. All right. So I'm gonna. By the way, it's Hispanic Heritage Month, so we have to, represent. I always heard that song, but I've never watched that video before. Really, really, really watch it. Yeah, I'm doing that. All right. So, Mr. Williams, I turn it over to you to introduce our guest this morning.
All right, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. It's another music workshop Friday. Today we brought on a very, very, very awesome guest. You know, I've had the opportunity to check out some of his work and just some of the things that he does. This is an entertainment lawyer. This is Jerome Jackson, down in Florida, correct?
Yes, sir.
All
hmm
right, all right. If you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about what you do, and the questions will start flying your way, brother.
Okay. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you reaching out, and glad I could be here today to talk to everybody. So, what's up, class? How y'all doing? Um, like you said, entertainment attorney practicing down in Miami, Florida. Originally from Kansas City, Missouri. You know, I went to school and worked out in California, so I kind of been around a little bit. Um, Touched down here, made this kind of my home and the base of operations. What I do for folks, I brand myself as an entertainment attorney because I work primarily with entertainment focused people, right? But I work on business matters, right? So anything that's transactional in the entertainment industry, that's what I do. Okay. If you get sued, it's not necessarily what I do. Okay. If you get arrested, that's not what I do. And I tell my clients this all the time. It is it is very clear about how we work. Okay. So you look at me as an entertainment focused attorney. So anytime there's a deal on the table or you need some terms negotiated, or if you need business concepts set out and secured, that's what I do. And so for musicians, a lot of times I set up business entities that serve as the recording studio or the record label. I negotiate exclusive artist contracts if somebody is going to sign you to a deal. Um, I've had some folks that, in recent times that are producers that are creating online beat stores. And so they need licensing agreements for that. So I do that, negotiating producers agreements, setting up your letter of direction so that you can get paid for your royalties, making sure that your royalties are set up properly. Uh, so some of any and all of that, making sure that everybody's split sheet was signed and that the signatures are valid. A lot of advising on copyright stuff, making sure that you think you own 10% of a song and that you actually do own the 10% of the song that you think you do. So I do a lot of that stuff, and it kind of dovetails into a lot of other film stuff, because everybody wants sync placements and whatnot. So I help folks do that. Shopping their music isn't something that I do, but if you do have an opportunity, if I can connect the dots, then that's something I help you out with as well. Um, so yeah, so with that is kind of the background. Like I do all types of entertainment stuff. So I work in film, television, web series. I work with athletes on some of their matters, and pageant, contestants. Any of this stuff that's entertainment focused. So I do a little bit of media work as well. Uh, but yeah, so let me know what y'all want to hear, what y'all want to talk about today, and I'm glad to share my story.
I'll pop it off real quick. Now you said something here about sync license. Exactly what is that for a producer, and how do you go about handling that business?
All right, so a sync license is the license for any commercial, television, film, to play the music and synchronize it with the audio or with the visual content, right? So any visual video that you're gonna have where you have music in the background that's gonna play at the same time as the visual picture needs to be synchronized, and that's why they call it a sync license, right? That's how I had to learn it, so that's how I tell y'all to do it, and that's how you should remember it. Now, the point the way that you get one of those, and that there's not a, for some of the other licenses, there's been laws that have come out that, you know, that make it a mandatory license that you have to provide, a compulsory license that you have to provide. So there's kind of a set price for how much people will pay and won't pay. And so then you kind of negotiate from either the floor up, or, you know what I'm saying, the top down, and say, okay, I'm not going to pay that much because I can just go get the compulsory license for whatever that price is. With sync, there's no laws on it. So you just basically have to get into a conversation with whoever is buying and whoever is selling the song, and y'all have to just talk it out. Okay, so for one of my projects, I was working on the filmmaker side, and we wanted to license a song. So, you know, for licensing a song to sync and all this, you need to come up with how much of the song you want to use, with where it's going to fit within the project. You know, if it's going to be the entire, you know what I'm saying, if it's going to be in the entire trailer, if it's going to be just you know, a transitional part in the movie where, you know, we say the main character gets down and then all of a sudden the Rocky song comes out, and then that's what gets them back up and moving again. You know, so you have to know that going in to talk about, you know, how the song is going to be used. And then from there, it's just a negotiation about how much are we going to get paid, and you have to clear it with all of the producers and all of the publishers and song owners and copyright owners, right? So you need to get both. You have to get the copyright owners, who is usually the record label, and all of the publishers. So it gets complicated when, as everybody knows in here, you start splitting up the song, you know, and there's 6 people who need to get paid off of everybody's usage for the song, and da da da. So when you own part of the copyright, you own all of the rights, but your portion is about the percentage of the money that you can get. So if you come across a opportunity to sell your song, you should absolutely go ahead and sell the song, but just know that all 4 of the other people that also own the song are entitled to a percentage of the money that you just got. Okay, so I don't know how helpful that is, but, like, you know, that's just something for y'all to know. And the sync license, like I said, like, you should get, it's a one-time payment, so uh it's not an ongoing thing. It's just a check that gets cut, and so that's why everybody likes them. That's why they're big in the industry, because if you can just get, you know, 30,000 real quick for, you know, saying a song you made, you know, cut it up, you know, saying a couple times with your people, that's a nice little, you know, whatever you need, you know, say whatever you have going on, that'll cover you for a little while. And so it's not the slow mailbox money that, you know, that you're used to. It's something real quick up front for the use, and then da da da. So that
Oh,
answer your question?
there's
Oh, that was very great. I couldn't have asked it better. I couldn't have said it better.
there's a
You have one
question
in. Oh,
for,
sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead.
from a student. How do you find out if an artist gets copyrighted in a song?
How do you find out?
Yeah, like how yeah.
If I mean, that's
I mean, like, what's the process? I guess that's
to
why
find
you are.
out if there's somebody that's copyrighted in the song.
Yeah, I guess the process to copyright your song. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, Jonathan. It sounds like that is.
Hmm.
Uh,
Because I'll answer the first one and then work backwards. Okay,
okay,
so
no
oh,
problem.
that's what he said. He wants to know about how to copyright it.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, how to copyright the song is actually a pretty simple process, right? Like, you can hire me to do it, you know what I'm saying, and I'll charge you for it. You're gonna be mad when you find out how simple it is, that, you know what I'm saying, how you paid that. So, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't even try to get people on this, right? I try to empower people to do this part themselves, right? There's just 2 different forms that you can file with copyright.gov. Okay, you can, there are online systems now, you can do it, and then just pay your fee. It was $35 for your copyright, and I think it went up to $55 this year per copyright. And so you literally just fill out the form, right? I think it's 2 pages now. It's either a SR, which is sound recording, or a PA, which is a performance. I think it's performance art. And you literally just fill out the form, and it's just your name, your address, or if you're doing this properly in the way that I'll tell everybody to do it, you should have an entity that runs all of this stuff, right? So if you have publishing or whatever, this is the entity that you should use, and you should say, hey, this is Jerome Jackson Productions, or, you know, say a money making empire entertainment, whatever, and that's what you should list. And then put your address down there, it might ask for your tax ID number, which is part of the process of getting the entity situated, right? So you put that information up there at the top. Then they'll just ask you about some information about the song. What's the song title, the official title, who all is a part owner of it, and then you just send it in. You send it in with your money, and then there you go. Like then they'll send you the stuff back and say, hey, you've got to register copyright. Boom, bow, Bob's your uncle, right?
Is it a lifetime? Is it lifetime once you copyright? Do you do that process once? Is it for a lifetime?
Yeah, it is the life. The copyright lasts for the life of the author, who is you, right? Plus, I think it's either 70 or 95 years or something. I haven't had to deal with anything 200 years old yet, so
What if you don't have a TID? What if you don't have a registered label? Like we have students here who may want to copyright their songs, and
but don't
then
have an entity.
that level or has
You
done
can
the
still do it under your name, under your government name. Like so don't feel any type of way about that. This just is this just a different way to organize your business and to make it into a way that you can uh that you can use the systems that are in place to help track your money, to help refine, you know what I'm saying, help you pay your taxes, to help offset your liability, to help keep the things that you're doing. It helps you mentally treat it like a business. So that's the only reason why I'm letting you know about that. But you can absolutely file it under your own name and just track everything like that, and just have it be you specifically who owns the copyright. And yes, you will own it forever. And yeah. And so the thing is about why you want to do it is, if anybody takes your song or steals a bunch of your lyrics or any of that stuff, you can't say anything about it legally until you file that copyright. Okay. So a lot of times people get in situations where they haven't filed it, and then they see somebody took, you know what I'm saying, took like a whole, you know what I'm saying, a whole verse from them or something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not a whole verse, maybe like 8 lines or something, you know what I mean? But like significant, like enough to where it's like, nah, they just bit this whole portion.
Yes.
And you can't legally go say anything about it until you filed that copyright. So then it just backs up the process, because it's like you just found out about it. And it might have been a song that you released, you know what I'm saying, 2-3 years ago, that then somebody copied a year ago, that then you just now found out. So you're, you know what I'm saying, arguably a year late already, and you can't legally say anything about it until you get the copyright register. So now you want to go say something right now today, but you can't, because you have to go through the process of getting it copywritten and have the registration for the song provided from the copyright office, before you can then say, okay, quit stealing my song, give me my money for
Got it.
that, like all of that.
Sorry, there are questions in the chat, but I just want to know this one thing. So what if somebody released a song? You release your song and you didn't copyright the song, and somebody else maybe copyrighted before you, right? Even though you have record that you recorded this song long ago, can you challenge something like that?
Yeah. All right. So did you release the song? Because the question is, did you release it?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Say it's
So
released.
yeah, so if it's released, then you've made it public. And so the laws, let's start from the top down, right? When they were making these laws, they said, look, we want to encourage people who are making music, who are making art, to put it out in the public. We want to encourage that behavior. So you know what I'm saying? So if you got a million songs, but nobody's ever heard it but you, your protections are less than those who've made 2 songs, but they let everybody hear them.
Mhm.
So once you've made your work public, then it gets into a question of, did someone else have access to it? Where would they have come across it, to figure out who owns who owns it first, who came up with it first? And so it benefits you if, when you're writing down, you know what I'm saying, if you're doing your lyrics or whatever, if you keep a notebook, if you do them in your phone, to keep the timestamp, like, okay, this was October, you know what I'm saying, October 9th, you know what I'm saying, this was what I wrote today. And then, you know what I'm saying, whenever you record the song, you should, I mean, I think you should put dates on when you did, you know what I'm saying, when you signed off on your split sheets, right? Like this stuff matters, because if you come back, you know what I'm saying, a year later, and somebody else has, like you said, released the song or done all this stuff, then you're into, well, can you prove that you worked on the song, that you created the song, that you released the song before they did, right?
Got it. Question here. Do you have any side hustles?
I have plenty of side hustles. So I was doing, like, when the PPE when COVID first broke out, I was pushing PPE because I had a connection to some suppliers in China. So I was doing that.
Wow.
Yeah, like let's see what else. I do some consulting for there's like a it's not Bitcoin, but it's a type of cryptocurrency. So I do some consulting for them and the stuff that they're doing. Uh trying to think who else I got. Because I know I do a lot, man. I can't well, I mean that's part of my regular business because I know I'm the lawyer for one of the films that's getting they just started shooting production today, but that's entertainment law stuff. That's the same stuff. That's
That's your
called.
main. Have you worked with anybody famous? I'm reading from the chat here. Work with anybody famous? If so, who?
Yeah, plenty of famous people, man. I try not to name drop, but I guess I kind of got to like it's weird. So I'm gonna tell y'all this, right? So I can tell you one side of the story, right? Because legally your lawyer can't tell your business, right? So you need to understand that. And so I adhere to the code, you know what I'm saying? I'm not about to tell your business. So you can ask who I work for, or you can ask the type of stuff that I did for them. You can't have both. So since we
I think I
already
want
got
to know who.
since we already got the who,
Name drops.
all right, so I work with De'Aaron Fox from the Sacramento Kings. I work with him, and like right now, I'm doing the film stuff for Jahan Jones. He's a comedian out in LA. I think who else is famous? Famous. Like I work with Gabby G, Jerome Williams. These are smart cats in Miami. Y'all probably don't know the Miami scene like that. I think. Who else do people know? Hmm. Actually, I think those are my big. I think those are my big hitters, man. Like yeah, Jahan's been around for a minute. And then De'Aaron's probably the biggest. Well, actually, I did a deal with Tyrese Maxey, the who's supposed to be the lottery pick this year. So we'll see what happens with him.
Awesome stuff.
Mhm.
Question like, how does a student from New York with I mean not much money get to a place like yours? What's the process? How do I leave high school if I want to become an entertainment lawyer? What's the process? And not leaving college with a ton load of debt and all that stuff. Like, how does it happen?
Yeah, I mean, you really do have to find. I mean, you can find schools that will let you go for cheap or that will give you money to go there. And I mean that's the best way to avoid the debt. So take the time to do your homework, like the assignments that you don't think are important, they add into a GPA that accounts for money. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just stuff that people pay money for. And so a GPA is one of them. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in high school and you want to go to college for free or for cheap, you know what I'm saying, you want some help, like raise that GPA up. Make sure your assignments are turned in all the time and that you take real time to try to work on them. Because like I said, that equates to money, scholarship dollars. And that same logic applies in college for law school, right? Which is the next step of how you become a entertainment lawyer. You have to go to law school and then pass the bar. And so there's a combination that you can hit, you know what I'm saying? It's whether your test score is high or whether your GPA is high. And so you kind of balance those like, to determine how much money you can get. So if you're trying to do this thing without, you know what I'm saying, breaking the bank or having a whole bunch of loans, then take the time every day to sit down and do your work. You know what I mean? Because that's how you get there. I mean, long and short of it, that's it. Uh, Otherwise, have a rich uncle or something, and
All right, guys, sending your questions. Sending your questions.
yeah, but for specifically entertainment stuff, like entertainment, the entertainment business is very much relationships, and so, that's how my practice got built. You know what I'm saying? I consistently go from one person who I knew who wasn't a client that knew somebody else who was working on stuff that they needed a lawyer. And so then they plugged me and said, oh yeah, no, this is my guy Jerome. Like he's good. He know what you're talking about. Check him out. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden now me and that other person are working together. And then from there, they talking about, oh yeah, well, thanks for doing this for us. Like I know, you know what I'm saying? Like I know somebody that's starting a label. Like, you know what I'm saying? They gonna need some help. Like, so you want me to pass it? Yeah, go ahead, pass on my stuff. And so that I mean that's just how everybody works in entertainment, is that you get bounced around. And so in entertainment, like make sure that make sure you solid, because everybody talks about this. All the panels that I've been on, all the conferences I go to, everybody, say it don't matter if they've been in the game a year or 30 years. Everybody is like, you got to have some solid people that you work with, because this industry is a little bit shady. The money gets shady. The way that it's set up is a little bit shady, and so it breeds like shady people to run it. And so you got to work to keep your name outside of the shade, outside of the, what I'm saying, the oh, well, we not sure, well, what we thought we got paid for that. Well, yeah, but I mean, nobody else saw any money off of that. Nah, so then it must have got stuck with such and such. Oh yeah, see, and then somebody else said that they didn't get their cut off for this either. Yeah, exactly. See, we don't need to be working with him. Yep, they told us, and we did this. So this happens a lot, and so it's one of those things, like, it really benefits you. Like, don't steal the $5,000 that you get off of the one song or the one thing that happens or whatever, because it's not worth it in the long run. Because people will find out, because the industry is so small, and then people just won't work with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll cost you opportunities that you can't even see. You know what I'm saying? Your name comes up in conversations in rooms that you're not a part of, and you got to have a good reputation to get pulled into those rooms. You know what I'm saying? And so if you don't, then you just won't get invited, and you won't know that you didn't get invited. You know what I'm saying? You won't know that you were in consideration. You just won't be invited. You'll just never hear about it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's one of the biggest things, is just making sure that your name is clean, making sure that your rep is good, making sure that when people work with you, they have a good vibe about it, about a good feeling about how everything worked, and that y'all work well together. You know what I'm saying? And that you held up, yourself to a standard of honesty and integrity. And it's like weird stuff like that. It's just like simple, but it matters.
Makes or breaks it. We have questions in the chat. What made you decide to do this with your life?
Realistically, I wanted to help people. Like, so I was an athlete for the longest. You know what I'm saying? I played ball in college, and I thought I was going to be a sports agent. And then I talked to my uncle, who was a sports agent for a while, and he kind of put me on to how the lifestyle was, and he was like, yeah, like, you got to be okay with dropping your clients when they're not good. And so, the average NFL lifespan is I think between 3 and 4 years. And so it's like, you work with somebody really closely, because you know what I'm saying, like, you got to find out like how their training is going, like what's going on in their personal life, like how good or bad they are, uh if they're hurt or not, you know what I'm saying, all this stuff. You got to work with them real close for, what I'm saying, for 3 years. And then after that third, fourth year, when they slow down, when they haven't quite healed up for that injury, when they really can't perform at the same level anymore, you can't keep going in and calling teams to get them tryouts. You can't keep calling folks to get them to, what I'm saying, to have them show up for a workout, because then you look bad for wasting the coach's time, because you knew that such and such ain't fast no more, or such and such can't cut like they used to, or isn't strong, or their injury is still messing them up. And so I wasn't feeling the idea of having to cut ties with people who I was building relationships with like that. And so that's just a personal decision I had. And then that's kind of how I moved into the other side of entertainment, right? The entertainment law, because the agents work with entertainment lawyers, right? There's a lawyer that inks the deal and that does all that stuff. And I said, okay, I can still help this same group of people, right, who are focused on entertaining people, right? That's their skill, is in that, right? Creating music, creating films, shooting jump shots, running, you know what I'm saying, running plays, doing all that sort of thing. I can still help that same group of people without having to cut everybody when, say, when they're not, when their value's not as high. And so that's kind of how I got into this. And so that's where I kind of wanted to do. And so that's why I do what I do. That's why I show up, I'm saying, here and talk to classes, because it's, I'm saying, I want to help folks do this. And so, a lot of times the high cost of a legal services stop people from knowing what to do. And so, I figured if I can help, then I'll help.
Do you have any struggles as a Black lawyer?
Yes. So I'll talk about two, right? So the first one is Miami specific. Miami is a very Latin town, and so I deal with the Latin racism, right? So it's like hard to get clients out here for that specific reason, right? And it's like, it's weird too, because I speak Spanish, but it's, it's a little different when you're not Dominican, when you're not down, you know what I'm saying, when you're not down. Like I'm regular Black dude from America, like, and so So yeah, so that poses challenges working out here specifically. Um, although I do get clients, sorry, let me not say that everybody's like that, you know what I'm saying? And then I do get Spanish speaking clients and do deals in Spanish. Like, so yeah, so it's just part of it, but it's not the whole thing, right? But it is something that's tough. The other part, the second thing is from Black people who still believe in the Jewish lawyer is the best lawyer thing, and they the ones that everybody raps about in all their songs, and that's the one that you hear about. So then when folks get deals and stuff, they run to Horowitz and Greenberg and all of it. They run to all of these cats to get their deals done, and that's like, you know what I'm saying. And in general, like, I mean, it makes it a struggle. And like, and I mean, I don't agree with it. I don't think it's a good way to do business. You know what I'm saying? But that's kind of what people have heard, and so breaking through that stereotype, that's tough.
That's
Because
tough.
you know what I'm saying, because it's hard, because you know what I'm saying, like I work hard just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying, I sit in the same law classes with all these cats and doing better than them, and you know what I'm saying, on all the exams and knowing the material and stuff. And then all of a sudden when it comes deal time, like, how you not gonna pick me? You know what I mean? Like, I look like you. So that's the one that, so that's the second one, and that's the hard one to get over on, to get, you know what I'm saying, to get through. But I will say people are getting better about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, um I know I get chosen for deals sometimes because I'm a Black attorney that is qualified to do the, you know what I'm saying, to do the work. So there are folks that are like, nah, we get it, and we're trying to go forward in this way. And so then that's cool. That's cool when I get folks, you know what I'm saying, clients like that. But the other side of it is that some people just still ain't down yet. And
Still
so,
not there yet. Wow, that's very interesting, especially the Latin. Wow, very interesting. Another question here, a lot of questions here. Do you only get paid when you work with a person, or you get, I guess, passive income? How does it work really?
all right, so yeah, so usually I try to get I get paid something up front to get started, right? Time's not free deal, you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I usually get paid something, excuse me, up front. Some of the deals that I work on, like the bigger deals, the bigger projects, are I get paid when you get paid deals, right? So if I'm negotiating so if like you are getting interest by a record label, I'll talk, you know what I'm saying, I'll do the negotiating for folks, you know what I'm saying, and then once you get your advance, then you'll pay me out of your advance, right? Like, so we'll do stuff like that. For like for some of the TV stuff, right? Like, I take a percentage of whatever deal you get once the deal closes. So you know what I'm saying? So I got a bunch of stuff that's on residual now. Like, I got some stuff where it's like it's a TV series, and so I'll get paid per episode that you get paid to produce or to create or to be in or whatever, right? So it's a mix, right? So some of the stuff is, you know what I'm saying, like upfront, some of the stuff is right now, and then some of the stuff is, nah, 2 years from now I'll get the check, you know what I mean?
Got it. Was there any point that you feel like this is not a career for you? Like you wanted to give up and leave and try something else? Yes.
All the time. What? It depends on the day.
Why though? What's the hang?
Like, I love working with y'all, man, but sometimes I hate working with y'all.
Ninja, help me, help you.
Yo, entertainers are a special bunch, man. So like musicians, like folks call me at all kind of crazy hours, talking. You know what I'm saying? Just because like when they call me when they left the studio, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's cool that you woke up at 1 this afternoon and then got started working in the studio at 11 p.m. and then call me at 4 when you leave. Like, I get that you on that schedule, but I work traditional office hours, man. Like, let's so that's stuff, yeah. It's like, I don't know why I do some of this stuff. And then like I tell you, like I started this with I tell all my clients real quick that I'm your lawyer for the deal, right? For this specific project or whatever. And I don't care how clear I make it, I don't care how many times I say it, I don't care that I put it in writing that you sign. Everybody gets in criminal trouble they get in, you know what I'm saying, they got trying to go through a divorce or a custody battle, and they call me. And I'm like, bruh, like we went over this. We went over this. This is not,
You're not the man, but that's not you.
this ain't who you call for that. You know what I mean? But like, I'm nice. I try to help them because I know stuff. And so so I'm like, I'm not gonna leave you out here. And so I think that's why they call me, because they like, nah, Jerome ain't gonna leave you like that. Like, man.
Do you find artists need more criminal help than entertainment help?
That's a good one.
Nah, man. Most of my clients aren't gully like that. So you know what I'm saying? Not everybody has that, or at least some people respect the call where I'm like, nah, don't call me for that. So maybe I have more clients that do need it. They just know not to call me. But yeah, I mean, but it's weird because most people need some type of legal help. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you're buying property, if they're, you know what I'm saying, if they, like I said, like the custody one is the one that comes up a lot. Because most people, you know what I'm saying, like at some point run into a kid situation, and not everybody's happy with, you know, my mom and dad's relationship. And so that's the one that pops up a lot more, you know. So
Wow, got it. Wow. Guys, are there any more questions in the chat? Did we miss anything?
Have you received any like threats from, like, you know, maybe some clients because they maybe going through some things and they really want to panic and get it done? Is there any like crazy stories that you can kind of thin line talk about?
nah, don't nobody threaten me because the deal's not going well. Like I mean, for whatever reason, I don't know. I mean, maybe I just haven't had the clients like that. Maybe the deal hasn't been right. Like, you know, maybe my day is coming. I don't know. But nah, nobody's threatened me. I've had some crazy ones for like there's like a shooting out here at like Rolling Loud that I got called on. Man, was it like 2 years ago? Like something like that. And it was like, yeah, and so it was one of them 3 o'clock in the morning calls. It was like, hey, Ron, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all met up back at the studio, man. Can you get down here? Like, can you talk to us? We got some situations, right? It's a situation.
Here's some situations.
That's the call.
That's the code right there.
Yeah.
You can't even say it regular. You could be like, situations.
Start talking around it. I'm like, oh, shit,
Yeah,
I know this is gonna be a problem.
That's like going in a tobacco shop. Yeah, I need some tobacco.
How was your college experience? I mean, in trying to become a lawyer, was that hard?
I answer those separately. Like, so my college, so I went to Stanford for undergrad, right out on the West Coast. Yeah, shout out. And
Quick plug.
yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Stanford was dope, man. Like I get why they put it, you know what I'm saying, so highly ranked as one of the schools like that's up there. Like they legit do a good job. There's a good group of people that they let in. They give you resources to try to do everything. They support you in like trying to do everything. If I told them I wanted to do independent study on like all musicians from the you know what I'm saying, of the history of time, they'd have figured a way to get me a degree in that. You know what I'm saying? So they really supportive. Like it was a fun time. Like it's nice weather. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I got no bad words to say about it. Like it was dope. Second, was it hard? Yeah. Like, there's just a million things for you to do all the time. Like, and I tried to, like, I had got advice from my folks about, like, you know, aunts, uncles, you know what I'm saying, like family, friends, people who I ask, because I'm one of those people that I'll ask everybody about something that I'm trying to do to see if there's, you know what I'm saying, some knowledge, some nuggets all over the place. I'm like, all right, so yeah, I mean, what do you think? What did you know what I'm saying, what should I be doing? Da da da. And you know what I'm saying, you don't take everybody's advice, but you know what I'm saying, you just kind of get you get a bunch of it, and you hear, like, if everybody says the same thing, then maybe that's a good thing for you to do, right? So when I was in school, like, everybody told me, like, yeah, get involved and try to meet people, right? So I was involved in all kind of clubs. I was going to all kind of meetings for everything. And I mean, the real thing about going to college is they could buy my time. I was a cheap date. Like, if they served me lunch, what you talking about for the next hour? We good. What you got? Subway? What is that? Chick-fil-A? Yeah. Come on. I'm gonna hear it. Let's go. And so, you know what I'm saying? So I was all over campus knowing about the free lunch meetings or whatever. And so it also makes you involved and knowledgeable, right? Because then you everywhere, and you at the meeting and you hear what they talking about for an hour, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, this is cool. Like, you know, and so And so I did that, and then I joined a fraternity. And so when I was in charge of making events for the fraternity, now it's like, okay, I've been going to everybody else's meetings, so now I know like what joint programs to do. I'm like, nah, such and such, they got this going on, and so you know what I'm saying. Like, I think we can do that because I know we try to do a bunch of stuff for the community where it's like a lot of people like I mean we try to do a lot of stuff for the Black community specifically, and so it's like we did credit programs, like because everybody doesn't get talked to about credit and how to use it, how not to use it, like where you should fit debt into your life, because it's a part of life, right? Everybody deals with it in some form or another. But if you don't have a good conversation or a good foundational understanding of, you know, what an interest rate is, when is that going to hit, how do you're saying, how do you have to pay off of that, you know what I'm saying, why is it bad to take too much, you know, all of that sort of thing. So, you know, we used to do programs like that, and you know what I'm saying, like stuff that really try to help the community and folks understand, like, you know, how to live life and how to win. So
There are a few questions here, but I just want to just continue on the same path for a minute because there's a good question here. How does credit work actually? Which is a very good question.
yeah, I mean, credit is it's a good conversation to have because like let's tie it back to what we're talking about here. Like, it's in like a music concept, right? It's like an advance, but the advance is you know what I'm saying, the money that you were given to create a thing that doesn't have to be paid back by you personally. So it's just a good loan term. So credit, loans, advances, they're all kind of similar terms that work kind of in the same way. And so like credit, like somebody just gives you money, but the terms on your credit, you know what I'm saying, on whatever, you know what I'm saying, that debt situation is what determines, you know what I'm saying, how you have to pay that money back, right? Like, so somebody says, I'm gonna give you $10,000 with an interest rate of 30% or whatever, which is bad. You don't want that. That means that you eventually have to pay back the $10,000, but every year, usually it's an annual percentage rate or whatever. So every year you have to pay 30% of interest on whatever money you still owe. Okay. So pay it back as fast as possible, because the more money you owe, the more interest payments you're going to have on top of that, the more that payment is going to be. So then you have to pay back the original $10,000 that you took out, that you borrowed, and the interest rate for how long it took you to pay, for
Yeah.
the interest payments for how long it took you to pay it back. Okay.
As a young person, what is good debt, bad debt? What would you advise? I'm just out of college, I get a job, blah blah, whatever. I have a little money. What is something that it's okay to get credit on that, and something that is not okay to, you know, put yourself
Yeah,
in debt?
like, I mean, like good and bad are relative terms, and so it depends on what you're using the money for. I mean, I think that's the best way that I would explain it. So if you had to take, like, a mortgage is debt, right? If you took out money to buy a house, that's debt. But the house arguably is going to go up in value. So you're going to make more money off of the money that you took out. So that's good debt, right? Because you just made some money. You're saying you went back, but to go forward, you know what I'm saying? And so that's good. Um, Cars are a necessity. So, you know, if you got to take out money to get a car, like, if you need to get around to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's neutral debt, you know what I mean? It's not good or bad, but like, you need a car. So it's like, it could be good debt. Like, the one that everybody gets in trouble with is the credit card debt, because people start using it and not paying it off. If you think that you know what I'm saying, if you got a $10,000 credit limit or whatever, and you're like, oh, cool, like, I'm gonna just go buy these shoes, I'm gonna buy these concert tickets, I'm gonna go, you know what I'm saying, like, the PS5 is coming out, like, that's bad. That's bad usage of your credit. But if you're like, I'm gonna get this credit card so that I can pay for studio time, so that I can pay for, you know what I'm saying, new microphones, new software, so that I can use that stuff to make money, that's good debt. You know what I mean? That's how you do
Investment.
it. Yeah, it's an investment. Yeah, you're buying
Buying
things that,
equipment and stuff.
yeah, if you're buying things that are helping you make money, like, then that's good. That's absolutely good. And so you should do that. The way that people get in trouble is not paying stuff off. So if you do, so don't think about your credit limit like, I have $10,000 to spend. You got to think about it like that you should pay off that balance at the end of each month. And so whatever you spent, you know what I'm saying, like think, okay, am I gonna have $500 at the end of this month to pay this off? Because if not, then you're saying that 500 is just gonna keep going there, and then you're gonna add interest on top of that $500. So then it's not 500 no more. Now it's 550. You know, and it's just gonna keep going up, and you're gonna keep spending on that credit card, and it's gonna keep adding on to that. So I say that's the big thing. Because and what you want to do, the real game here is that you want to pay your credit card stuff off. Like even if you're not gonna use, like I used to when I first got out of college, I had a really good job at a software company next to Stanford, right? So I'm an anomaly in this situation, but so I had a good situation. But you can do it with any kind of job. If you get a credit card, it helps to build your credit rating. If you buy stuff with your credit card and then immediately pay it off, it gives you credit history and all of that stuff. So if you know, and I used to use my credit card when I'm going to buy lunch every day, right? Because you know, saying $4 or $5 for whatever lunch was, you know, what I'm saying times five, you know, saying bucks a day or 5 days in a week, that's $20 times 4 weeks in the month. So I had about $80 worth of transactions or whatever. Doesn't matter because I paid it off at the end. I knew I was gonna have my lunch money, you know, what I'm saying, come the end of the month, so I could pay off my credit card every month, and that shows up on your credit report and shows that you took out debt, you paid it back. You took out debt, you paid it back. You took out debt, you paid it back. And so that's all, and that stuff just boosts your credit rate, your credit score, your credit rating. And so it just helps you if you like need more money. If eventually you need $15,000 to actually make an album, you know what I'm saying? Like now's the time where okay, somebody has seen you take out money, pay it back, take out money, pay it back. They're a lot more likely to give you the money that you need, so because they can believe that you'll pay it back.
Got it. How did you go about picking the school that you went to? Why Stanford? How did you choose Stanford?
I mean, Stanford chose me. Nah, I mean, man, it was an interesting story. So it's like I told you, I played sports. So I was playing football, and so I was getting recruited for football, and so that's how they got me out there. Like that's how I got on the radar. Actually, two of my guys that played ball with me, they were getting recruited also, and so the recruiting coach would come out and talk to us all the time, and da 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 da. And so that's kind of how I ended up out there, because I hadn't been out to California like that beforehand. I had seen the school, and truthfully, I was picking between Georgia Tech and Stanford at the end, because I wanted to be in Atlanta, and I wanted to be in Atlanta for not good academic reasons. So,
Atlanta. I'm from Georgia, so I already know what time it is.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Eventually I think I made the better decision, because I wanted to go to Atlanta, because I mean they told me like Georgia Tech was a really, really good engineering school, and everybody told me I should do engineering because I was good at math and science. But on the off chance that I didn't do engineering, Stanford was like a way better school for everything else. And so I was like, all right, let's not play around here, because you really just want to be in Atlanta. If Georgia Tech was in the middle of Kentucky, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Big facts.
How do you know that your music lawyer is the right one? I mean, what are the signs I should look for to know that this guy he knows what he's talking about?
Oh, when you're trying to pick people?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hard one, because you know what I'm saying, people can talk a good game out here. You know what I'm saying? You drop some of the buzzwords, and they not really know what you're talking about, but say publish it enough times, and yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, like you in this business, usually people go off of folks that they've already worked with or recommendation, and so then that usually helps. That's usually a good indication, because if somebody screwed up their deal or did bad work for them, they're not going to set you up for the okie doke like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not going to recommend somebody for you. So usually that helps. But I mean, really, it should just be kind of a feeling. Like you should talk to the people, whoever you get that sits down in front of you. Like have like a conversation, and not just a business focused conversation. You know, where you just talking, okay, well, what percentage are you going to take off of my deal? Like have those conversations too. Like don't get that twisted. But like talk to them like as people. Like find out like what they got going on, like what they do, because it's a little bit harder for people to hide the snake, you know what I'm saying, if you just like hang around them for a while, you know what I'm saying? Like usually usually stuff comes up and then they
They
like,
show you
yeah,
who they are.
yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so you kind of, yeah, saying so just slow play them. I guess would be my advice. You know, because I do dinners, lunches, coffee. I mean, I don't really drink coffee like that, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like little chill stuff like with folks. Like you want to meet at the studio, like I'll pull up at the studio, you know what I'm saying, and just chop and just shoot the just chop it up.
Yeah. It's usually
Hey, if you said it,
lighter.
it would have been okay on that one. You just said it so cool, it was flowing.
Yeah.
What they say, we edit out in post. We edit out in post.
Yeah.
What's a typical work day like for you?
Not too many typical days, but like usually I get up. I mean, I've been working with a lot of West Coast people. Like I said, I got a project that's like a film project that they just started principal photography like I think Monday of this week. Yeah, dang, we already at the Friday. Whew. So yeah, so they started principal photography on Monday. So last week and the week before, like they just been on me, and they're all West Coast. So it's like I get I get to sleep in a little bit when dealing with them. You know what I'm saying? Because being on the East Coast, like ain't none of them emailing me at 7 a.m. You know what I'm saying? So I get to sleep in a little bit and kind of ease into my day. But then the end of my day is a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? Because they got, okay, well, can we get this changed? Like I know such and such wanted this kind of credit and like da da da. So I mean, so that was like 2 weeks ago. Like this week has been a little bit chiller. Like, you know, I get up around 8, you know what I'm saying, get started working by 9. And I'm looking at so all right, so let's do today, right? Well, today's not a good day. Let's do yesterday. So I got up 9-ish, and I started checking my Instagram, right? See who's in my DMs asking me to come talk to the music class, right? So I go, so I go check them. You know what I'm saying? I go check my DMs to see what's going on. Like I check, you know what I'm saying, my feed because I just follow entertainers and stuff to see if there's anything big like Tory Lanez, you know, say got indicted for shooting Megan Thee Stallion. You know what I'm saying? You gotta find out like what's current in the streets, right? Mm-hmm. So yes, so I do that, then boom, I check my email for, you know what I'm saying, for a little while. See who's messaged me, see who I need to respond to, just kind of get a level set on what my day is about to look like. Then I take time to do some forward looking stuff, right? If I have like, you know what I'm saying, meetings that I know I need to prepare for, if I have to call somebody back, I'll look, you know what I'm saying, research the information that I need to call somebody back on or whatever. And then by middle of the day, then I kind of get into my day. And so then that's when I'm on the phone, you know, giving people calls back and say, hey, look, let's talk about, you know, this project and how we're going to shop the deal and how we're going to get such and such paid off of this if they're going to be involved, or how we cut them out if, you know what I'm saying, they're not supposed to be here. Yeah, got it. So I get talking on the things of the day. So then, you know what I'm saying, middle of the day, usually that's when I'm on. And so I'm, you know, if like last week I did a ton of contract drafting in the middle of the day, right? Whole bunch of revisions on stuff, whole bunch of you know, looking up terms, making sure that like this fits and it covers the deal in the way that we want. This week I don't have any contracts to draft. This week I'm dealing with some trademarks. So this week I'm looking up case law to the, you know what I'm saying, to try to argue that some of my trademarks that I filed for clients, that they should be granted, that they should be allowed to register, and you know, that they're not conflicting with anybody else's trademark and da da da. So that's what I'm doing this week. Next week, I guarantee after this, I'm gonna have a bunch of music folks call me and be like, hey, so what's up with my this? So look, somebody took my lyrics. I ain't been paid off of this song. Like I heard you do sync stuff, like, you know, and so that's just kind of how it works. And so every week is a little bit different, but
different, yeah. So they want to get to the sauce. So has there ever been an occasion where your personal life get tangled with business? Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I heard you.
Hey, he hit you with that 1, 2, 3, 4, feel. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I thought it was frozen. I'm like, what's going on?
I'll save you right here with this question. So how does a situation happen with like the Migos where the label and the Migos have the same representative? How does that even work?
Yeah, that's happened to me a couple of times. Like it's weird, and it kind of is not supposed to happen, but like So it happens on recommendation. Like I said, like, you know what I'm saying, folks find somebody that they work with, that they know that they work with, that's cool, and then they put them in the deal, and they're like, all right, cool, I want you to represent me in this deal. But then also there's like 4 other people in the deal that don't have lawyers either. So then they're like, all right, but yeah, they need help too. But you know, we only know you. So that's, I mean, so then that's how it works. And so there's like a conflict of interest that needs to be waived, like legally, like there's a conflict of interest that needs to be waived. And you can't do it if both sides are adverse to each other, right? So if a good deal for them is a bad deal for them, like you can't do it. But yeah, so you just get your conflict of interest waived, and then, you know what I'm saying, then yeah, then you're good, and you can rep both sides. And so then, like, musically, when people get higher, they, you know what I'm saying, in their level of understanding, people understand what deal terms look like and what things are good and bad in the deal. So then it's a little bit easier to have that situation because their knowledge on both sides of the table is good. So they know that when they get hit with a distribution fee, they're gonna say, whoa, hold up, that's your job. Why am I paying for that? They can advocate for themselves in a better way. So then that's a little bit easier. And so then the lawyer's job in the middle of all this isn't to advocate and negotiate between back and forth between both sides. It's just to draw up the terms that makes everybody happy, right? And so that's how you can get a situation like that where, you know, say everybody is repped by the same person and da da da. Like, I try to stay away from those situations, and like, just for, you know what I'm saying, clarity's sake, but, you know what I'm saying, I'll bring somebody else in and I'm like, look, this should be your person, go to them, talk to them about the thing, and we'll talk over here, and then we'll get everything worked out in the middle. But, you know, sometimes it is what it is.
Word. How much time we got left, Mr. Morris?
No time.
No time. No time. All right. There we go.
Yeah.
Jerome, if you want to go ahead and just drop like your socials or where some of our students can find you and things of that nature, please go ahead, promote yourself.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate it. I'm gonna drop it in the chat right quick.
Please, thank you. So just to say some of the things that I got from this conversation, you should make sure your work is public. It's better, you can defend your work better if you make it public. Your reputation is important. Ask a lot of questions, and when you're in college, get involved. Those are some of the main things I got from this conversation.
Yeah. I appreciate that. That's good. This is a good recap. Yeah, there's just work to be done to get to this level. I'm by no means at the top, or you know what I'm saying, where I'm trying to be. I'm going. Yeah, right. And so I would encourage everybody along the way, you know what I'm saying, they keep telling people in entertainment, network horizontally with folks that have been in, you know what I'm saying, I've been in the game for about 5 years. So, you know, other cats that have been in the game 5 years, like, you know what I'm saying, we'll probably relate to one another about the type of issues that we face, about the type of deals that we want to do. We're starting to figure out who we want to work with and how. Do it like that, because trying to get, you know what I'm saying, trying to get cats that have been in the league for, or that have been in the game for 15 years, they're gonna look at you a little different. And so, you know, do that. Okay, those relationships add value over time, and you never know where people are going to end up. You know what I'm saying? So you never know who's going to end up at Def Jam and then be able to sign up, you know what I'm saying, any of your artists or people or you or whatever. So keep your name good and do good work. You know, like, people slouch on that part. With all of the other stuff that goes on these days, like, take the time to just be good at what you do. Make good beats, make good songs, make good music, you know? So follow me, your boy Jerome Jackson, entertainment attorney, at The Entertainment Attorney on IG. Follow me, Jerome J _Esquire at Twitter, and check out my website, www.extraordinaryinsights.com. Feel free to reach out anytime you got questions, comments, whatever. If I can't help you with the situation, I probably know somebody that can. So use me as a resource. I'm down for the brown. I try to help everybody. Wakanda forever, right?
There. You got
man.
to throw it up, man. There.
Wow. Excellent presentation.
Thank you, man. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Wow. All right, we have to run, guys. We have to run because I know people have class. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Jackson. We really appreciate you, man. Really appreciate you. Mr. Williams delivering once again. Love it.
You guys stay in them DMs, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
Have a good day.
All right, man. Yeah, have one. Peace and blessing.
All right.